Hey guys, have a great day.
Heading down the driveway. Going to school. Getting ready. What are you doing? You waving at cars? Yeah. Waiting for the bus? Yeah. Is it cold out here? Hey guys, so don't mind my voice. That's why there's been a couple days in between videos. I finally got my voice back. It's been like a hallelujah kind of moment. You don't realize until you don't have your voice, like talking to people an everyday thing, it's a very big deal. Still got the cough. Anyway, the other night I started a great thing here in our town. Well, I'm hoping it's a great thing. I had a couple of people who are in the Department of Special Needs Resources and do special needs things throughout the state. I nicely brought in our state representative for our corner who came out and heard what we had to hear. He's a friend of mine, so I basically had all these people and special needs parents come in hopes of hearing people's ideas and opinions about what needs to change here in our community about special needs and what are we lacking and what can we do to better help families in this area, because it seems like when you mention our town in the state of Connecticut, we are this tiny town up in the northwest corner of Connecticut, and people are like, where's that town? You have no resources. And especially for a mom with a special needs child and needing help, and whether it's after school care, whether it's respite care, whether it's, you know, they didn't fulfill something they were supposed to in the IEP. There's all these things that, you know, nobody knows how to get the resources. So hopefully this group, I will get some grant money and I will get some other people standing behind me and get some more resources. And I want to start once a month a special needs support group in our area. And like I said, the biggest part of this is getting grant money and writing the grant. That has been done, but our state is cutting, so we have to find where we can get the money from. But hopefully once a month I can bring in somebody who's a topic speaker, and we can have free babysitting and refreshments, and we can talk as a community and as a group what is lacking for resources. So one of the special needs parent made a really good comment the other night at the meeting. She goes, do you know how much lack of accessibility there is to public buildings, offices, and business if you are a handicap in this community? And I never truly thought about it because, you know, Sasha does have some type of mobility. I mean, she's spastic, but I can hold her hand. She's still small enough that I can carry her up. And I don't get that perspective because my child is not completely wheelchair bound. But today I was going to take you guys on a ride in our town and point out buildings that I recently found out that are not ADA compliant. There's no ramps. There's anywhere from 4 steps to 8 steps. No ramps, no elevators. So you're saying to yourself, whether you're a child who is disabled or an elderly person who has a walker or cane and can't get up these stairs, how are you supposed to get into these businesses or office buildings and be able to get up the stairs? And our state representative made a great point to me the other day. He goes, A lot of these buildings are older and they're grandfathered in, and they want the historic look and they don't want the ramps. Nobody's complained, so they don't need to make them ADA compliant. So I was going to take you around town and show you some of the horrendous buildings that are not ADA compliant. And if you have a child in a wheelchair such as my friend does, good luck getting in any of these buildings.
Here's some words guaranteed to provoke strong emotions. The Americans with Disabilities Act. For millions of disabled persons, these words mean access to the workplace, to shopping, and to services. But for some business owners, the Americans with Disabilities Act means fear about expensive lawsuits and remodeling projects if their businesses are not in compliance with regulations.
A woman in a wheelchair approaches businesses' outside door. A blind woman crosses the street.
The ADA has been the law of the land for more than 20 years now, and yet many businesses are still not fully accessible to the disabled. Those business owners are missing a marketing opportunity and making themselves vulnerable to lawsuits. By some measures, 1 in 7 Americans have some form of disability. There are 14 million people in the U.S. who get around with wheelchairs, walkers, guide dogs, or canes. People with disabilities like to frequent businesses that have easy access. In short, providing access means generating more business.
Speaker Rachel Stewart is in a wheelchair.
A lot of times doors are heavy, and so I can't open them myself, or if they don't have a way to grasp onto the door, then I have a difficult time opening the door as well. And a lot of times I'll just either sit outside and wait for somebody to walk by. Hopefully it's a busy street, or if it's not.
So this is a local health food store in my town. We love to go in it, and it's great stuff, and I love to go in there. But as you can see, there's 3 steps up, and there's no way a handicapped person can make it up those stairs in a wheelchair, and he will not comply with ramp. I have asked him before, and he said he has not had enough complaints and he doesn't have to comply. So this is a local breakfast type lunch, get a grinder. We love going in this place, but I can't park in front of it. But as you can see, there's many steps to even attempt to get in that front door, and there's 2 there, and there's also 2 at the bottom. So somebody who is handicapped will never ever be able to get in there. I absolutely love this little store. It's like an arts and crafts bookstore, strictly just for kids, nothing else. And the problem is that it's totally non-handicap accessible whatsoever. There's 4 steps up to it, no ramp whatsoever. So if a child is strictly wheelchair bound, they have no access to this building. So this is another place. I absolutely love this little diner. Great food. I have to carry Sasha up the stairs. There's absolutely no ramp. And as you can see, there is tons of stairs on each side if this truck would move. And there's absolutely no access ramp at all to the building. So this business very close to my house is a happening coffee shop, bakery, kind of meet and greet place with Wi-Fi. It's very cute. The food is absolutely fantastic. But as you can see, if you are in a wheelchair, there yet again is no ramp. And I think there's 4 stairs over there. So good luck getting up that one. So I showed you a couple of buildings. Those are only probably a tiny percentage of buildings that are non-handicap compliance or ADA compliance that you couldn't get a wheelchair up. A lot of these buildings are so old. I mean, like 1920s, 1930s, like they're super duper old. Nobody wants to update them. Nobody wants to put a ramp in because it won't make it historic and look like part of the town. So unless you truly complain like I did with the playground and other ADA compliances, it never seems to get done in this town. I would say that 85 to 90% of our apartment buildings are non-handicap accessible. Either they have huge stairs going up to the 2nd floor, or they have at least 4 to 5 stairs to get to the 1st floor. All, yet again, tons of old buildings. That is one of the main reasons that 8 years ago, we did buy our house. Our house is a 1-level ranch, and my dad built a beautiful ramp, even though we only have 3 stairs out front for Sasha. But the ramp is literally, she gets out of the car and it's 4 steps to go up the ramp and into our house. Unless you're on the other end of it, like, I didn't think about all these things before I had Sasha, but when you're wheelchair bound or you have a hard time, you know, with mobility issues, it is a really big, you know, deal if it's only 2 or 3 steps.
Because I hope you have a fantastic night.
You too, Sasha.